Hey everybody, it's DP with Alpha Traders again, coming at you with our top 5 and then some. What a week! What a week it was for us. Nailed Roku got up to 500%. Nailed W on Friday. Nailed Snow both ways. It actually went up to 1,500%, but we cashed out at 400%. Always trying to protect those gains. Always. Really good week, minimal losses. Just monster plays this week. So it was a great day to be, either in our SMS alerts or our full-time, as a full-time member. You guys sign up here on alphatraders.com just so you guys have an idea. Click this little box, put your email, want to see more, and it'll take you to the registration page. Super easy. Discord's on fire lately. Been having a ton of really good results from the SMS alerts, where it literally comes to your phone as a text message to you. All the plays, what I see, what I'm taking, what I'm taking off profits, and it's $50 a month. It's unbelievably cheap. And you guys just find our Twitter account at Alpha Traders Inc. and it's right on our bio. So people are loving it. It's crazy how much people like that can't be in front of their computers all the time. They can just go to the text real quick, pops up, boom, we're on our way. So let's get to it though, shall we? Let's get to our top. Let's get all the way back to SPY. Let's get to our top 5 of 5. Well, not 5 anymore, but top 5 now today. So let's go over the indexes first, and we'll kind of start from there. There we go. So broadening, big megaphone pattern that we have on the daily. Tap the top of it. Couldn't bust through. It kind of came right back and closed just underneath it here. Futures are already looking good. Futures are already up, I want to say 31 points. I'm sorry, 8 points. I was looking at NQ earlier. Already up 8 points, so SPY is probably right around this area here. Going to be a tough area to pop through tomorrow. We might get that slight gap up in this, and then they fade it. Probably going to wait and see. We have some Roku calls, 325s, for next week that we kind of rolled into. We'll get into Roku here as we go on. But SPY, pretty much, this is your top here. You really got to get through 422.81. If you get through that and it holds, you're looking at probably 425-ish, 420, 424.50, somewhere in there. If you go on the 65-minute here. Just basic price action. I mean, you can see it's flagging. Big move up on Friday. Just huge move here on the gap up. You had the huge move. This was off the obviously the NFP numbers. So popped up, flagged out. Looks strong still. Looks to be testing this area, but through 422.81, definitely a good long. If it can't break it, probably by, I'd say probably about 10:30 Eastern time, I would probably look to start to fade this a little bit. Maybe get back to the 8-day here at 420, just a short fade. If you really want to, really want to test it. Q's a little different story. Tech had a nice bounce. Growth really carried it off the NFP numbers, with them being extremely low. There's a lot of these that are just super easy right now to read. You got the 8-day here at 333.76. Really, 336.65 is going to be a big thing. There's a good amount of supply on here. It's going to be really hard for it to get through, I think, without some type of, big news from Amazon or Apple or some leader, Tesla, which I'm not seeing. So 336 is kind of my area. Excuse me. Touch of the 8 days pretty good, 333, but I would expect tech to just kind of do this week, just kind of bounce, and then once it hits this trend line, we can start seeing some acceleration. May's historically not a great tech month, but you'll see some of our other plays. There's money's flowing into the oil sector and energy sector, so as we'll see, and also small caps, which we will get into right now with the Russell. Like I said, I'm trying to go through this fast. I want you guys, there's a lot of names we got on here. Super easy chart to read again. I mean, it gets through 225.93, you're running. You probably get to 230 this week. You can probably take the 227.50s or the 230s and be happy pretty much the whole week. Timing's going to be of the essence. You want to get on that break, because if you have to wait, and it falls back down to retest, you're going to get smoked on premium. So 65-minute, a lot of lines, they just carry over. The only one you need to know is this one, 225.93. Get through that. That's that little bit more of a push. That's that was the high of the day on Friday. So you could definitely see 227.13, 227.13, 39, and 228.37, and then ultimately 230. Roku, big winner for us. We picked literally the bottom. I mean, I don't know how much closer to the bottom we could have bought it. But big day into the numbers. Earnings were just on fire. As soon as he got through this daily 200, that's a big number, the 299, 300 area. Really pushed all the way up to 336. So we sold ours probably around 325, 326. Went from 550 to 24. They ultimately went, I think, up to 32, 33. You got to lock in profits. Don't be greedy. I mean, this market, if it gives you something, don't smack a gift horse in the mouth. That's one thing that the market will teach you. You get greedy and start smacking gift horses, you're going to get burned. And I'm more than happy with 400%. So daily, pretty easy. Again, I mean, there's some really easy charts to read in some of these growth names and some of the names that I'll show you a little later. But 336.87, just get through this. I mean, we're already in the 325s because they have these VWAP gaps in this point, POC gap here, and we kind of bought it right above right at the POC gap. I just wanted to see it hold. It's a little below that now. I do think if tech gaps up tomorrow, this should have enough power to get through the VWAP gap at 323. I don't know that it says so much, but really want to get these clouds moving. And you can see the indicators all starting to curl up. That's the only reason I really have them on. They're just giving me a little bit of balance, and they show me trend. But on the 65-minute here, it's pretty much the same thing. This is a big number here. This is 347. I don't think it gets past this now this week, but I do see it getting to at least 336.87 or 33, whatever you want to call it here, which is the 100-day moving average on the 65-minute. But this one is this is big. If tech wants to run and this really wants to go, if growth really moves, you're going to see 347.98. Those 325s that we paid, I think 7 for. They'll end up. I mean, if it holds like that, they'll go from 7 to 18, somewhere in there. So, like in Roku, looking for one more week continuation off those earnings. Etsy, same. It's the same principle. I'm not as jumping on the Etsy train here, but I wanted to give just an idea. It's at 165, which it ended at the highs on the daily. So that's really, really interesting, because if it opens up above that, you got to think you have a trade to 170 tomorrow going into money. That's just my idea. If it opens up at 166, to me, I think it's a pretty good RR that you're going to be able to get to 170. Again, this 200-day is huge now. I mean, now that they lost it, this 200-day is huge. So definitely, if you're a little bit safer, you want to take 170, wait for that to break, and then get long. I mean, because you have that whole gap up to 181. But either way, you can really play this. Depends on how the market is. If rates are increasing on the 10-year, I would expect this to kind of be held down a little more. But if not, as we saw, if we see TLT rise, this is going to be great. if we see the yields drop, this I think you could really buy the 170s tomorrow. They're probably going to be $7, maybe $8 somewhere in there, but that gets you up to 180, and that's your next target right here. So that, you see what I mean? So it's you can get a good 40-50% trade out of it. Here we go into energy. ZOM, huge cup pattern here. What I expect is all the energy, it had such a good run up. I do expect it this week to take a couple days off and maybe run into the end of the week and just create that cup and handle. And this is a classic formation here. Boom, there's your cup. You want to bring it down. It's probably going to get back to the 8-day and touch at 59.76, and then boom, you can get that handle into that cup and handle breakout. But yeah, that touch at 8 days at, we'll call it 60. You could really go into next week's 62s and play this right here. My guess is they should be about 354, somewhere in there. Again, I'll check the premiums in the morning for members, but really good cup and handle. I might actually buy the 60 puts going into tomorrow, just because it's sitting on this line now. If it opens above it, then I'm going to let it sit and see what it does. If it just rockets, I'm okay with missing it. I'll play the retest of it. I'm only showing you dailies. Like, this is how easy some of these are. HAL's a little different. It's exploding up into that pattern. So you're looking at this to get 24 this week. You want to buy the 20, probably the 23s or the 22s calls. Especially if it's open above this, above the 23 area. You're going to look grand, and you're going to make some nice little change on that. Again, these are dailies. I don't even have to show you the 65 minutes. Like this, they're so clear. AMET, same thing. You got your anchored VWAP. Boom. This is going to be a big area. You got some supply above 134.67. This thing runs. You're looking at 138 and then ultimately 141. If you're playing weeklies, I'd wait for the 134.67 break, probably by the 137, 136 is probably a safer one, because this one isn't like a monster. This move isn't going to happen again on this. You could get to 145, so maybe you want to do 2 weeks out and do the 140s, or maybe somewhere in there. I would probably do the 140s, nice even number, or you can get up to this resistance here, the 138.78. On the daily. But like I said, the 65 minutes, it's like you don't even really need it. Again, look at NVIDIA. Super easy. Over 598.82. That's all you need to know. That's how easy this is. You have the 8-day here at 590. There's your support. If it drops down to 590, that's another good area. You can get long by the 600s. I don't see a ton of, like, you see the volume on here. When it's going, volumes up here. I see this volume, I see this movement. It's just meandering. So needs to get above there. And again, you can get up to 608. I don't think it gets through this. It could maybe retest 614. If it does break this area, this is probably where I'm going to play it. If it gets down to 590, maybe we'll call it 587, somewhere in this area, I would long it to probably 600, but above 598, I'm probably only doing the 605s. I'm not, and they're probably be really expensive. So again, I don't even need the 65. That's a lot of clean setups this week. Look at LRCX. It's confluence with on the daily, confluence with the anchor VWAP and the high of the day. It literally, they're $1.50 off. That's nothing on a $600 stock. So they're right there. Bust through this 635, you're really on your way to 650 by the end of the week. Only problem is the premium burns on this really hard. So I would, if it's me and I'm playing LRCX, I'm probably buying the 640s for 10, and just really trying to hopefully I get that IV crush up. And I can move through it. I don't see it getting through 650, but hey, if you pay 10 at 635, you only need 645 to break even. You take it with what you want. Disney. Now this one looks super interesting. Mouse is always one of my favorites in terms of when it moves, as you can see back here. When it moves, it moves. So sold off. Earnings are coming up on, what is it, May 13th. So that's this week. That's Thursday. So probably look for a run up into earnings. So I would expect 187 to trade, maybe all the way up to 190. I'm actually really interested in the 187s and 187.50s coming up to this trend line right here. Love the mouse. Now this one you want to look at the 65-minute here, because you have some confluence here with the 65-minute 200-day. This is a big number. If you want to play it a little safer, 185.46 instead of the 185.10, you can do that. I'll probably do that. I'll wait for 185.46 to trade and buy the 187.50s and see what the mouse brings us going into earnings. Amazon. On the 65-minute here, I wanted to show everybody, this is a big number, 3307. Through 3307, you definitely can get 20 points. You might get 30. You could really get a move on if tech really wants to go. It can really move. This is the 8-day 33.39, so I would really like a move. You can get a nice chunk of change. The only problem is it's beginning of the week, so if it moves through that, you're gonna have to pay 20, to get, you're gonna have to buy the 34.50s at 25, and it's not exactly, a great trade, but I don't usually trade Amazon on Mondays. And then last but not least, Boeing. So same thing here. Earnings were sold. Usually these stay 4 to 6 weeks off, but it does look a bit interesting. Super easy to read again on the daily. 235.94. Get through 235.94. You could probably see 243 by the end of the week. I'm interested through 236. I'll probably go with the 240s. They'll probably be about 350. So it'll be a good way to get to the anchored VWAP, and hopefully it gets there before Friday, and you can make a little money on it. So those are our top plays for the week. Don't forget alphatraders.com. Check us out at Alpha Traders Inc. on Twitter. And as always, we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you out there.